I think that's the question, frankly, and that's, we can't sustain deficits.
I mean, are we going to?
We don't get things under control.
I think we'll get it there.
And you know, coming from the city council, we had to make some tough choices because you have to have a balanced budget. The states do. Every other government entity is under a balanced budget requirement except for the federal government. So hey, I think we need to get back on path, and right now there's no path. Like I said, there's not even a budget for this year, but yet we'll deficit spend $1.5 trillion. So to kind of answer your question succinctly, it depends on who you talk to, but generally, when the debt owed to others, and I say that distinctly because there's two different types of debt. One is the one the right pocket owes to left pocket. You know, how much I owe my wife, but yet we have the same bank account. You know. The other is you buy, I have debt, and you buy that debt from me, so I get the cash. That's the debt owed to others. That's what China is buying, and Japan, who are our two biggest creditors. Most economists would say 80 to 90% is the ratio. When you get to your debt owed to others is hitting 80 to 90%, the consequences to the economy start becoming negative. Not that you can't meet your obligations, but you're taking so much money out of the economy now just to sustain your debt payments that you're choking your own economy. You're not creating the jobs. You don't have the dollars flowing in the economy. So right now, our debt owed to others is about 60%. But the rate that we're on, we'll hit 80% in the next 3 years.
And that's what's different than our national debt at any other time in history.
It's never been that high.
It's never been that high.
And that's always been, I think the economists and liberals have always said, well, geez, you know, our debt to GDP isn't that high, and so, you know, you fiscal hawks always make a big deal out of it, but in reality, it's not. Most economists would probably have agreed with that, but now we're getting to the point where every economist is saying, you guys are getting really close. Even Harvard trained. That's a joke, but no, it wasn't. So we're getting there, and that's what we have to watch out. It's not like we're going to automatically collapse like you see in Greece. I think we're different than Greece in our culture. We're not going to go out and start setting policemen on fire because we hit 80 or 90%. But the reality is, getting back to your point earlier about grandkids, there's no doubt that we're not going to have the job creation and sustain the high taxes. The job opportunities just aren't going to be there because in a global economy, people just go somewhere else. And that kind of begs a different question of why aren't we making ourselves more competitive? We've got to do things a little bit different in this country if we really want to be on manufacturing-based path, which has always been the heart and soul of the middle class. And we're doing everything we can to run them offshore. So that's it. I mean, first of all, most economists would tell you that you get your budget under control, which means the spending, and then you start working at the next layer down because that's becoming such a critical point. So, and in the yearly sense of your deficit to GDP is higher than during World War II. That's a big statement.
Hi, how are you by yourself?
Do you know their current level of, trying to put you on the spot, you know their current level of our GDP is Or
Yeah, it's I'm throwing a number out. It's around 30%, which is pretty high, but well, GDP is 14 trillion and the budget is 3.8 trillion. Or that's what we're expected to spend this year. The assumed budget, since they're, well, I will say the president, even though Congress isn't adopting it.
Is the CBO readily accepted as an independent, fair assessment of costs? Those numbers that we should
generally, but you got to remember.
I know they can't factor in social factors and certain cause and effects. They really do kind of go by numbers, but
they do, and you have to put that in context. You know, and that's what's frustrating with some of the healthcare, because we say, you know, if you can do a physical once a year for someone with chronic diseases, so you can lay out a management plan, and that costs you, let's say, $400 or $500 to do per year. But every study shows that it'll save you on average of about $5,000 a year because your management. CBO only lets you have it costs you $400 or $500 because everything else is an assumption. So you don't get to score any savings. So you get a report back that says this is going to cost you $500 or whatever, let's say $5 billion. And so you have to then on if you're going to pay for it, come up with a budget cut someplace of $5 billion or raise taxes $5 billion. So the reality is, yeah, they're generally trusted. They're under a very strict, and sometimes, and I'm sure speakers in the past have done this, but they'll kind of slow down the process. So, for example, one of the CBO reports that came out after the healthcare bill was passed, it said, yes, it does increase healthcare costs. The conspiracy theory there is that the speaker slowed that down so it would come out after the bill was passed.
The major point of the legislation, even though I don't really think anybody believed it.
That it was actually going to cut costs. Because there was nothing in it that really cut costs. But, yeah, I've got a feeling that we're going to be dealing with this bill for years to come. All right, well, onward and upward.
Yep.
You full?
Up to Pet Week.
Pet Week. What's Pet Week?
Ralston Vet.
Oh.
Our dog's going to be there, so go hang out with the dog.
Oh, little bonding, that's nice.
Little carnival for pets, or what do you do at Pet Week?
It's an open house for Ralston Vet Clinic, and our canine goes there for demos, and they'll have a petting zoo there and all kinds of stuff.
You're not part of the petting zoo.
Might be.
Might be.
It depends.
Oh, your dog? Say it, Rookie.
Yeah. Depends on what's in it, you know.
Yeah, scratch your face.
What kind of treats you got?
That's how they treat you.
You know, it's always something.
That's funny. That's funny. All right, you guys ready to go to work?
Thanks, guys.
Always. Thank you.
Molly, yeah, we'll talk to you later.
Stay in touch. Well, thank you. Have we paid? Did you guys order? Oh, okay. Well, then I'll.
You don't want anything?
I'm ready. It is.